Hello and welcome to Quickfire Questions episode 6. This time, Peter Brown is in the hot seat. Based in Santa Rosa, California in the United States, Peter has a hugely successful YouTube channel boasting over 500,000 subscribers by the name of Shoptime, where he works on woodworking and turning projects with an emphasis on fun and experimentation with resin and a range of unusual materials which to date have included salt, pepper, breakfast cereal, coffee, money, crayons, Oreos and more. You'll find a link to Peter's channel and website in the description box. I'd highly recommend checking them out if you're not already familiar. I've been watching and enjoying Peter's channel for years and I was so excited to speak with him. Now, on with the questions. Describe what you do in up to 5 words.
I make things sticky.
What project would you say that you are most proud of?
I made a Jurassic Park cane with another YouTuber called Pocket 82.
Pocket 83.
Pocket 83. Pocket's gonna be pissed if he sees this. I know Pocket's real name, but I'm not allowed to tell you.
Do you really?
I do.
Have you seen his face?
I have no idea what he looks like, but we had 2 very long phone conversations leading up to that project. Yeah, so Pocket 83 and I made that project together, and it is easily the one I'm the most proud of. When I pull it out, people usually just get really excited because everybody's seen the movie Jurassic Park, and I feel like everybody knows what it's supposed to look like, and it just exceeds all of my hopes and dreams for that project.
What is your favorite tool?
That's a tough question because my favorite tool in this shop is my table saw. My table saw and I have a very close relationship. I purchased it for $50 and it was all rusted out and non-functioning in a barn here in Santa Rosa. And over a 10-month time period, I probably dumped around $600 into it. I got it up and running again. It's a vintage 1950 Delta Unisaw. It has no safety features. It is all business and it can rip a 2-inch thick piece of oak without even shrugging. But my favorite tool to use is my lathe. And my lathe is a crappy Chinese-made Rikon that has been falling apart for 9 years. So I love them both for totally different reasons.
Any plans for an upgrade of the lathe?
Yeah, I've been saying I want to upgrade the lathe for years, but the truth of it is I just do such crazy things at my lathe, and if I spent the money on a brand new one, I think I would be hesitant to turn salt or crayons or all of the stupid crazy things I do.
Or breakfast cereal.
Yeah, or breakfast cereal, exactly.
Do you prefer the making side of things or the video production editing side of things?
Oh, I hate editing. And I know there are people out there that say they love it, and all I can think is that there's something mentally wrong with them. I hate it so much. And while I'm sitting down editing, I will be yelling at Maker Peter the entire time. Maker Peter, why isn't this in focus? Get out of the shot. Stop babbling on. Just say what you want to say one time clearly and then stop talking. So, yeah, I'm very aggressive at editing.
I really love your theme music at the start of your videos. Can you tell us more about that and where it came from?
I mean, there's a finite amount of free music on the internet, and I happened to find a website. I think I've got it linked in all of my videos, and you could search for like tech or pop, and I listened to like 400 clips and picked that one, and then I married it.
Do you remember what your first ever making related project was?
There's an organization here in the States called 4-H, which is sort of like a Boy Scouts for farmers. And we had a woodworking course, and I made a set of bookends for my mother. And that was probably at age 10, and I got to do it with a jigsaw, heavily supervised by adults, and I don't remember how much I cut and how much I sanded and whatnot, but I remember being very proud of it at the time. I haven't seen it in years. So that, yeah, it would probably be my first ever thing that I made. I was 11 or 12.
And what was the most recent thing that you've been working on?
I made a cereal bowl out of Fruit Loop cereal. So yeah, I've really been stepping it up over the years. As far as really being grounded. It seems like those two should be reversed. Like 11-year-old me should be like, I want a cereal bowl out of cereal. And 41-year-old me should be like, it'd be nice to make my mother some bookends. I appear to be regressing.
You came to Makers Central, was it this year? I think it was this year, or was it last year?
It all kind of blurs. It was 2018, yeah.
Did you get to see much of the UK while you were here?
We flew into Manchester, and so we took the train from Manchester to Birmingham. And so we spent 2 days in Birmingham and then 2 days in London. And I mean, it was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. But I mean, it wasn't much time to absorb anything at all. So yeah, we got to see enough to whet our appetite to be absolutely sure that we wanted to come back.
And are you coming to Makers Central next year?
At the moment, the plan is yes. We'll see if the pocketbook allows it, getting closer to, what is it, May of 2019? Yeah.
Android or iOS?
I don't own a phone. Does that surprise you?
Well, I just naturally assumed that everyone did nowadays, but...
Yeah, no, I still have a landline. Yeah, Samsung. Cordless.
PC or Mac?
A PC. I like the Apple iOS. I think it's really clean, but I'm a video game guy and just can't live without them. So it's PC all the way.
And do you use any particular software for editing, or do you use a mixture of different software?
I only use one program. I use a Power Director, and I've never been long on research, so I asked one person what they used, and John Heiss, he said he used Power Director, so I used Power Director. I can't say I like it, but I'm used to it now, so.
It doesn't get much better than taking advice from John Heiss.
There it is.
Is being a YouTuber now a full-time thing for you, or are you still working a day job?
Oh yeah, I have a day job. I don't foresee ever quitting my job and becoming a full-time maker. I like YouTube. I think it's really fun. And I feel like my channel's fairly successful. That most people would look at me and go, that's a fairly successful channel. But just because something's successful doesn't mean you have to make a living at it. And I'm fine with it just being a side gig. It takes a lot of stress out of it. I can make things when I want to and not make things when I don't, because it doesn't pay the bills, it doesn't feed my family. I'm a network analyst, and that's my full-time job. And I've been doing that for 20 years, and I'll probably do it for another 15 or 20.
What is your main goal for your YouTube channel?
I've reached it. My main goal is to have fun and to enjoy making, and I'm there. It's a blast. You know, my favorite part is uploading a video and then reading all the comments. And it's just so many things I never would have considered, and so many people having input and being so passionate about something that I consider to be sort of frivolous, you know? Like just recently, the cereal bowl, I'll upload that, and people are just giving me all these suggestions on how to make a better resin cereal bowl. Like anyone is ever gonna do that.
The internet is a wonderful thing.
It is, and they're so excited and they're so passionate, and it makes me excited. It feels really good.
And if you could choose only one thing to watch out of television and YouTube, what would you choose?
I love television. That's hard. I love TV. I love comic book cartoons and movies and stuff, but I only get to pick one. The right answer is to say YouTube, because I'm on YouTube, but I think the truth of it is I wouldn't want to give up watching NCIS or you know, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so I guess I'd watch television. What
YouTube channels do you enjoy that aren't related to making things?
There are some really fantastic science channels, and I'm subscribed to all of them. I'm avid watcher of Veritasium and Smarter Every Day.
Would you consider yourself to be more of an introvert or an extrovert?
I would consider myself to be more of an extrovert. I think that kind of lends itself, this platform sort of lends itself to extroverts, you know? They're like, I like talking to people so much, I should talk to myself on a camera. you know. Like, my wife is an introvert, and she's like, I would never, ever, ever, ever do that. So I think we tend to be more extroverted in general.
Which of your tools scare you the most?
The one I'm using. Absolutely. Oh, 100%. You can mess yourself up with any tool.
Yeah.
You know, obviously the table saw and the bandsaw are spinning blades and they're scary. But, you know, in the 1950s, the majority of shop deaths were caused at the lathe. And it was because men used to wear ties. And that's, I'll give you that visual and you can, you know, let your brain go from there. So yeah, they're all stupid dangerous, and you should be aware of how dangerous all of them are all the time.
And don't wear ties while you're... If you had one piece of advice for someone wanting to get started making videos and putting them out on YouTube, what would that be?
I mean, the best answer is to get started. It feels so awkward to make that first video. You're gonna feel so stupid, and it's just, everybody does, and it's okay. The more you make videos, the better you'll feel about them. The best artists don't just wake up and create amazing art. They make bad pieces over and over and over again until they get better. And it's just the same with anything else in life, making videos included.
What games... Oh no. There's no point asking you that one because you don't have a phone. I was going to ask what games you had on your phone, but that would be a silly question.
I have an iPad.
What games do you have on your iPad?
I play a game called Marvel's Contest of Champions, and I've been playing it for about 3 years. And I think that's the only game that's on there. So it's a Street Fighter 2 style game with Marvel heroes. So yeah, I'm totally a geek.
Name one tool that you would like to own that you don't currently have.
Yeah, I can't think of any. I was actually thinking of that because, you know, I was like, well, what else do I want? And I want upgrades of tools that I have, but I don't want any other tools. I think what I'd like to do is actually master these tools that I have. You know, I've got a welder that I've used about 12 times, and I really need to do some more welding projects and whatnot. So I'm good. I got tons of tools.
If you could only have one grit of sandpaper for the rest of your life, what would that be?
120. I think 120 is a good answer. Yeah. That's pretty much what I use on my belt sander all the time. So I think that would make my resin projects pretty much garbage from now on. But but I imagine you're not really going to enforce this answer on me. In
terms of when you're sanding your resin projects, how high do you go to in terms of grits?
Really high. I start at 120 and I go through to 600, 800. And then I jump to special pads that start at 1,500 and go to 12,000.
Wow.
And after the application of 12,000, then I use plastic polish. So when I say I'm going to sand something, it usually means I'm going to spend 2 hours standing in front of the lathe. It's a laborious process.
And I'm very aware that most people can't stand sanding. How do you feel about it?
I get lost in it. There's something for me that going through the grits and seeing it get better and better every time, it sort of appeals to my nature. I sort of feel happy about that. I think if I was standing there going through all the grits and it wasn't getting any better, it would be a very tedious thing. But each time you pull back and you can see clearer through this object, I don't know, it's really satisfying.
Is there a particular brand of resin that you prefer to use?
Yes, absolutely. I prefer to use art resin for everything that I can, just because it doesn't smell toxic. It has no VOCs, and so when I'm in the shop with it, wearing just my RZ mask, I smell nothing. Some of these resins out here they're just so toxic that if I'm not wearing a full respirator, I'll actually get a sore throat, and it's frankly terrifying. So, but you need certain resins for certain jobs, and so you need to stock all of them, and I do. But I really like the art resin, and there's a similar product in England that I've been using, which is called Mastercast, I think it's called Mastercast.
Okay.
And it's very similar as far as you know, that toxicity. It's really nice resin. I used it for my foot when I cast my foot.
Is resin quite expensive over there? Because over here it's really expensive.
It's crazy expensive.
Yeah.
And yeah, what's worse about it is that when you get started, the likelihood of you having a successful casting is really low. So more than likely, you're gonna have to buy twice or 3 times the amount that you need, just because there's a real learning curve for this stuff. It's not easy to get started working with it. For me, it costs about $100 for the 32 ounces of art resin. And you know, that feels like a lot of money.
Do you have any pets?
I do. I have 2 cats. And sometimes you'll see cat hair floating around the shop. So yeah, I've got two orange cats, Thor and Oliver Queen.
So that's it for this one. A huge thank you to Peter for taking part. Really enjoyed chatting to him. He's really funny as well, so I pretty much laughed all of the way through. Don't forget you can find links to Peter's channel and website in the description box below. Please check them out and show your support for his work. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already for more weekly woodworking videos and more quickfire questions too. And thank you for watching.